Ah, see? When things are in focus, they're in perspective. They are in clarity. So, today's topic is Uranus is basically handing your ass to you if you don't have your assets in order. So that's the Uranian energy for this year. I always have the weird and wacky energy reports about the navigational aspects of where we're going. So, to put it this way, some old energies that can't rest and seek trouble, disregard. If some made the choice to commit unwanted energies, steal, rob, manipulate, whatever you want to call it, going the wrong path, creating outcomes that are unwanted and not giving up and refusing to see the picture that is eternity for them. The others that are seeing ascension, understanding that they're sitting on the ascension bus, train, spaceship, space stack, holographic, craft, world, nexus, Earth, you'll get it. If you resist, it persists. If you persist, it resists. So the thing is now to develop an art form of mental kung fu, to dance with it, be light with it. There are still absolutes in this reality that refuse to go away, that you can't change. But you can make a different choice when you have to make a decision leading you to a wanted outcome, needed outcome, if you will. Positive for you and positive for the others. This year also sets straight which path is set forward and straight and in communication. I wanted to make a extra video about this energy report, but I will bring it in here and give you a little bit more. So within this matrix, you know, we have flat earthers fighting round earthers. All of this is perspective. But my camera is not flat. Flat dimensional is a cartoon that has a visual but no depth. If anybody want to tell me that this Earth and this holographic matrix, which is an organic interface, has no depth, then I do not agree. There is a depth. Without depth, we don't have a picture. The picture can be displayed in a flat screen that can seem two-dimensional, but a cartoon is more two-dimensional than a screen because a screen still has depth. To just make that clear. And if you run with topics that don't fit the bill, that don't pay the bill, and that doesn't move resources or domes or energetic chambers that need to be built, then you have nothing but a virtual construct that remains in the virtual. And the planets are now actually calling you in to know the difference between, there is something that's called virtual space, and then there is the transition into reality. I will also, within that transition, create a class that will explain what brain state actually is active when you're coming from your virtual space, which is always an imaginary space first. Being imaginary is healthy, but if you're stuck in a virtual cycle of theoretical constructs, repetitive, not manifest, it's kind of like a four-dimensional loop. It never bears any fruit. You talking about, if that would be the case, the theoretical idea of planting a seed and then waiting for it to sprout, and then you talk about your harvest. In theory, all virtual. Then you have the creator mind that gets the seeds, talks less and plants, and has harvest and comes to the marketplace with a basket full of the harvest. The harvest, what many people misconstrued in their little imaginary ways of demons harvesting or bad entities or this and that, there is no harvest. The only thing that harvests is you harvest what you create, and you are fully responsible for your harvest. Your life is your field. Your life is your crops with everything that surrounds the field. You're the steward here, the farmer here, in all aspects of geometry and holy beingness within the body, as in creation, source, spark, human in the vessel. So Uranus tells you right now, if you make the decision to create a wanted outcome which is positive for you, well, guess what? You'll rise. You'll have more business. When you structure your business, this is what I'm going through right now, is I'm restructuring my workspace, shelves, books that I don't require anymore, that I don't need, I'm removing. So it's time to restructure. As change is taking place, and you have your boat and you're traveling with your boat, your vessel, Ra is in his boat. I use Egyptian science to make my play the way I perceive it. And it says Ra is in his solar boat. So the solar boat, you know, in Egyptian science, and I'm not here arguing about how this is depicted or displayed. Everybody is a being that has a boat. Your boat is the navigational aspect of the cerebellum, the cherubim, your brain. It is this here. See, so the boat is your focus. So as you can hear all of these environmental noises around me and from the neighborhood and activity, it is up to me where I shift my focus of attention. What's going on over here? What's going on over here? What's going over here? Uranus right now beats your ass, basically, and life is changing. Things are restructuring. New networks are being developed. New networks are coming together. I found one which is very promising. You can call it the Paranormal Facebook. It's called ONSTELLAR.com. If you want to connect and you can't connect on Facebook, that's where you will find me, ONSTELLAR.com. I'm not working for them, but I like what they do is that our kind has actually a platform to communicate where others don't really understand us. Also, bleeding into the Uranus energy. Uranus basically hands everything that you have not processed, whether it's astrology, energetics, planetary ascension code, to you. As in, we had volcanic eruptions in Japan and Hawaii. I explained that in another video. Is your heart, the heart chamber is basically burning rings of fire of where you were constricted away. So sacral, heart, solar plexus, root is basically firing up. So when you have your heart connection to the lower end of the body, it brings you in more into the body. Connect with your body, connect with reality, connect with what is. Stop creating or recreating an illusion of what not is by putting in your escrow what's not really there. It'll hit you later. So it's like if you have the theoretical idea of you wish to be an acrobat and you want to be on a rope, but you have no training, you have no attaining nothing, and you just want to do it because in your mind you can do it, so you dream it. So it is in that realm. But there's this realm that you have to meet, going from theta to delta. Creational mode, three-dimensional aspects, bringing forth. And guess what? The minute you get on that rope, it's like this, and you'll crash. You maybe hurt yourself. You'll be grounded. Contractual agreements in 3D is what's coming in here. This stays in the mind. So some people that feel that are stuck right now, as I can only say what the Mayan shamans say in times of change and ascension, do the work. So I sit down, I fill my keys, I produce new products, I have a new craft, invent new things, and sit down and create and work, restructure, put shelves in my subconscious, restructure thoughts, look into what is essential, what am I working with, what is non-essential, and let that energy guide you. All that other stuff, it's like a magic spell, it won't work. Don't even try it, don't force it, it will not come to your aid, it won't work. I had that where, let's say you're trying to get to know people that are not in your escrow, that are not in line with your escrow, they're not harmonizing, they're not resonating. Guess what? They won't actually, they will not do this with you. And when you feel this, step back, step away. Don't try, don't force. People will walk away from you. Friendships dissolve. The statistics of divorce, might fluctuate right now. Older personnel that have served their term in the old paradigm ascend because time is up. So decisions and choices are made. So don't be afraid of change. And I spoke to another person that said, yeah, but isn't change the only thing constant in the universe? Yeah, the paradox thing is, yes, the universe is always changing, but the master is constant. The master is coherent. The master, and it's not gender-based, is you. By, let's say I left off a conversation with a person right about now here. 10-year break, and I'm coming back and I'm weaving it in as if I have never left. That many people do not have in control. It's like a case where a simple task, when you have the workforce or somebody working for you, and the boss says, can you get 4 apples at that store and bring them to me? And let's say by 4 o'clock you should be done with the job. And the person stands there and says, well, I don't understand what you mean. What do you mean 4 apples? I don't understand you. So that person is in cognitive dissonance, meaning it can't even perceive what you're saying or where you're coming from. So I had that with a case where I told the person to connect with me, and the person said, yeah, well, my phone broke, and I don't have a PC at home. Well, not a problem. I'm thinking, I'm going to an internet shop, I pay $1 an hour, or $1 for every 2 hours, or 50 cents, what I've seen. And then I use my account and I call that person, say, I'm sorry, right now I don't have the capacity to communicate online. I have to use an internet shop, or maybe from the workspace, use somebody's computer, or off work or after work. And I make a connection and I communicate that. And that person did not have the capacity to actually do that. When I said, let's not argue right now, and this has to do with performing simple tasks, taking orders or taking directions that will actually have you prosper and help you to realize that you can prosper. So then you say to the person, this is what you do. Do you have $10? Good. You have a car, you go to work. Okay, good. You have access to a computer. Good. Can you do the following steps? And if that person cannot do that and is not willing to communicate with you or meet you at that level, that's one example. Goodbye. There's nothing you can do. That person is not in resonance with you, and the effort, there's not enough willingness to go the ascension path to meet that there in order to prosper. So, and this is what Uranus tells you right now. We are setting ourselves up for crashes, accidents, and things that do not work because we are creating that. And that comes from the subconscious. Maybe, daddy's boy, daddy's little girl, we were spoiled, everything was handed to us. For some, that might be the case. And nobody knows what it means, or some. Oh, this is actually what I have to work for and learn it to get that back. Okay. So what do I do? And many people just go, give me. And I have to bring the story of the fairy tale, where The prince has everything, gold, women, if you want the cliche. Everything is handed to him. Everything is manifest. He's golden, but he's bored. So father is kind of pissed and says, okay, I'm going to strip you off your ranks and send you into the peasant world, the pagan world, where the others are that pay us. And the prince wants to return, and there's a fairy that comes in disguise, and that's how you will be tested. An elderly woman, very subtle. The prince is finished. He's in the street. He does not know how to feed himself. He does not know how to survive. And the fairy comes along and says, I have some soup for you, sir. And hands like a bowl of soup, and the prince is like, peasant. I don't talk to the likes of you. And tosses that meal that would nourish you. And this is how we miss our opportunities. We want to bet on where the hype is, where the glorious, and let's go to Wall Street, or what's the next hype, or blue chips, or whatever you want to put your money in, where the hype is. Don't be fooled. Magic is subtle. It's very tiny and very little. In the magical movie Willow, when the Magi asked the new apprentice, where is the greatest power? Which finger has the greatest power? And Willow wants to go this finger, and then he goes index, cliche. And then the Magi is like, you're not ready. Come back in 10 years. You're not ready for magic. You don't see that magic is feminine. It is sensitive and it is subtle. So, see, there's people that don't even understand social cues. When you talk to somebody and you're going, okay, you ready to go? You want to go home? Catch some food, and the conversation is ongoing, and they're hooking you, and they're not getting that. So these people, when there's a subtle cue, don't even get it. So the magic, and I know most of you that watch this, I'm preaching to the choir, see the subtle cues. Or when I'm smiling, certain things must be working. I'm not stressed. I'm walking the walk. I put my money where my mouth is. I will be where the rubber meets the road. And I will demonstrate what I can do. I won't promise things that I don't have the capacity to perform. And it's not about magic tricks or circus or, and the ego seeks praise. The master seeks to uplift you and make you shine, even better than himself. And that's the idea, for you to find your way home. And that's the mission. That we find our way home is to find a way into your heart. From there, of course, you go interstellar. How that unfolds, technology will show that to us. I mean, we have phenomenal feats of technology that assists us, enables us to find things. Imagine if you don't come from the internet world. Now at the click of a button, you go to eBay, you go click, and they ship it to your house. And if you pay attention, it's free shipping. Now imagine, what do you do with your thoughts? What are you subscribing to? It's free. You can do anything. Nobody will stop you from doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now, the trick is, are you having fun with that? Uranus energy. Are you enjoying that? That is the safest passage. So I say to you, stay in your boat, structure your workspace, clean your house again, go over it, toss out fabric that you don't need, wash your laundry, mop your floor, do the simple task, the work to ground your spirit, and there's also life taking place here right now. With all of the paranormal experience that we have, never lose that. Otherwise, you're like an astronaut born on this world, not from this world, but on this world, and you tether out, and you don't know where your base is. All of those people in their buses traveling, nomadic and whatnot, if that's your call and you in your bus, then you make people smile and you don't move anything more than that, not to belittle that, then that's your calling. If somebody wants to set up a retreat center and help people get well, change their life, less talk, more experience, that is what works for me. And most of all, clear communication. Making sure that what messages are you relaying, are they crystal clear? Do you hear me? And can you see? Or do I flinch? Or do I walk away? Whatever. I am direct, live, often on camera. And some people are cybernetic, virtual lifestyle, playing roles that they're not. And it'll catch up to you. Uranus will be like, that's not who you are. This is not real. You don't really drive that car. You don't really want to go in that direction. Allow Uranus to hand you your shite. Basically, accept it and do it better, and not do it for me or for anybody else or for shopping or not shopping. This is free what I'm giving you here. This is for you, in integrating that within your heart, that this is for the mechanisms. You're golden. So go and do the good work. For that, you don't need to be a pastor or have to have a congregation. You are your own congregation. 50 trillion cells, well, you have a lot to communicate. This is your task. And this is up to you, and this is for you. And on that note, I'll see you on the flip side.